Tuesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. YK in the building. How you doing? How's your weekend?
My weekend was normal. normal, no rest.
Oh, you went out?
So, yeah, we went out. I went to this guy Kudus's launch of his dance studio. It was very, very nice. His dancers displayed. It was really nice.
Traditional dance like salsa, those kind of.
No, it's more contemporary dancing, and the governor was there, the commissioner was there, a lot of people were there. It was a small but nice.
Strictly by invitation. It was a small but strictly by invitation out before.
Yeah, congratulations to him. Congratulations, Kudus. I don't know if he watches the show, but it was very good.
Nice.
And then on Sunday, I met Murayo.
Yeah.
She saw me going on missing road.
Like she was going to one Gogwe place.
And she called me, no,
enter the car.
And if I hadn't seen her, that's how we entered that place.
Like I was just walking with the students to I'm like, okay, why would you be entering the first students are entering? Please come follow me. You know, and we now entered. It was nice.
That's a good event.
Congratulations to Chude.
Yeah.
The work is done so far.
Congratulations, Chude.
Yeah.
I couldn't stay to the end, but I'm glad that I
at least attended.
Yes.
Alaja Nima Akashat Zibiri.
Hey.
Your bracelet is beautiful.
It's Ramo. Everything that we wear is available in the Lagos Island market. Well, yesterday I got home to domestic violence, domestic accident situation in my house. My son had gone and climbed somewhere and tripped over.
Are you serious?
The boy that slept in my hands, and I left him sleeping. You know, school should do and resume. Well, now
you are resuming on Monday. Where's your own school not resuming?
They didn't resume in our school because there's a public holiday this week. Yeah, I think
so they're waiting till next week.
So they're waiting till next week. But our other school have those ones.
Yes,
they have
now we are in
school
Sunday. Already.
Since when?
The secondary school people are gone, but the primary school people are with us. And before I got home yesterday, nowhere to engage him. They said while I was on the show, the accident had happened. He had tripped and got.
So that you carried your property to work today?
No, today we are going to see all the pediatric doctors, orthopedic, everybody. I'm going to do
a full check.
You know, sorry, Abiajulu, my brother, his son, when he was like 4, he fell and broke his arm. Do you know that he's 17 now? He does not remember.
They don't remember.
Okay. Do you know why I brought him?
Their body heals very fast.
Yeah.
My sister saw my son with a swollen head and said, remember what happened to you? Say, I can't remember. My mother-in-law, I can't remember. I said, this one that you cannot remember.
Let us go to the hospital.
I don't even have time because if you fall, you ought to remember. What was the last thing? So it took him a while to get to. Okay, I was talking to Okafor.
Hello, Biajulu, how you doing? Because now let us move on.
Okay, how
you doing?
I'm grateful to God. Had what happened weekend? I rested. Then yesterday I wanted to start my water fast. I woke up, geared up, ready because I like to do it once a quarter to just reset my whole body for 3 days. So woke up, ready, geared up. We're fasting today. I just went downstairs and my girl was like, "You have not prepped meals for your husband for the week." I was like, okay, let me do a few things. She said, help us now, make stew now. Help us now, do this now. Help us now, tasty. I was like, how do you want me to fast when I'm cooking? I cooked all day. I left the kitchen. I was in the kitchen from 12 noon.
You were tasting and cooking?
No, not eating. I had to taste to see.
I said you were tasting and cooking.
So by 2:33, I was hungry. I said, okay, let me eat. Don't worry, I'll continue the fast. Another day. That's how I scattered my fast though. But
chicken now.
You know, I was in the kitchen all through till like 8 p.m. I woke up and I'm feeling tired. I'm feeling like somebody beats me up in the sleep.
Okay, I have to ask Waiki, do you fast?
Yes.
Yes, it's not genuine.
It's not genuine. Waiki does not fast.
No, she does. You have lipstick.
You do.
Yes, I just thought to ask you.
Do you fast? For real? For real?
Fast.
Yes, now.
Waiki doesn't fast. Are you minding Waiki?
I fast. Every morning. I don't eat till 3. Is that not fasting?
Yes, that's intermittent fasting. Yeah, that's cool.
Anyways, she has good share.
I even forgot. My brother launched his album on Friday and launched on Sunday. Congratulations to my brother.
I'm fine. No, we thank God.
Work is announcing my album.
I forgot to announce that my brother launched his album. Sorry, Jerry.
What's the name of the album?
Journey Through Life.
Nice, fantastic. Oh, good.
I'll show you the cover. The cover is so cute.
Oh.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. The Kuti family legacy lives on. We love it.
Amen.
Let's go on a very short break. When we come back, we'll look at the front pages of the paper. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. We're going to start with the nation. Defection of Oborevwori, Okowa to APC, a tsunami says Shettima. Gospel singer Oshinachi's husband sentenced to death by hanging. Lagos police raise strike force to battle criminals. Workers pending 5 months wage award for payment. WAEC, NECO to adopt full CBT mode next year. Okay. Cardinals enter conclave for Pope's election May 7th. Lawyers, litigants deplore attacks on court buildings and 6 stands to defend Nnamdi Kanu in terrorism trial. Okay, which story are we starting with? Okay,
let's start with the civil servants. Congratulations to them. Their wage award, which was delayed all this while, has backed up 5 months, and this Accountant General's office, that's the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation, through the Director of Press and Public Relations, Bawa Moko, has announced that this 35,000 will now be paid separately from the April 2025 salary. So as they drop April salary this end of the month, so they drop, they not go lomamo, drop one and right after the other drops according to how he broke it down.
Today is Tuesday, so, not Saturday, please.
No, April.
Today, speak pidgin. Now today is Tuesday, please.
Okay.
For reminding her.
They're not serious. You won't come on my genetics for my body.
All of you are about 40 now.
So they'll be dropping
starting to join me in menopause.
What's bringing down right now? Switching.
Me, I'm actually a very young girl. I'm not in the
Can I finish her review?
As I was saying.
And she called today Friday.
No, I didn't do that. Tuesday. No, it's because I spoke in pidgin that BC one. No,
yeah, the one menopause is disturbing.
I'm quite young. You didn't understand what happened. Very, very young.
And the one menopause is disturbing.
I heard her say today is Tuesday.
Because you didn't understand what she was saying. She was saying that Saturday they're going to speak pidgin.
Yeah,
but today is Tuesday.
Oh,
you see that menopause problem.
That's what you were saying.
So the Director of the Press of the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation, you also reiterated that government's commitment to the implementation of all policies At this point, I don't know. Leave the story. Somebody else take it.
Okay, let me take
Too much. Oh, God.
I don't even understand what you are reading. Okay, let me go
I don't know. We are reviewing another paper. She's using another paper.
I'm reviewing Nation. Nawala too much. The story never can drop
sorry,
again.
sorry.
Oh, yeah, take
Let
something.
me take the Vatican. Let me take your story.
No, I'm not. Go ahead. Okay, so what's happening today? It's YK.
Good.
YK syndrome. Lagos police raised strike force to battle criminals. So the police in Lagos have raised a standby intervention squad known as ECO Strike Force as part of the rejigged crime prevention and control strategies. So the strike force introduced by the Commissioner of Police, that's GMO, with the endorsement of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, is made up of policemen drawn from the Police Mobile Force, that's the PMF. So speaking with 35 participants of the Executive Intelligence Management Course 18, National Institute of Security Studies, NISS, in Abuja, they visited the command on the study tour, and GMO said that the strike force was stationed at Surulere, which is a nexus between the island and the mainland. That's like a connection. Oh God, I just lost. Hold on.
This today.
I got it. So the police chief said the crime rate in Lagos had dropped below what was the situation when he resumed 2 months ago, and he attributed the victory to the synergy that existed between the security agencies and the cooperation from the community. So he says the crime rate in Lagos State had been reduced to the barest minimum, and we are working to ensure it stays low. I want to not only attribute this to our efforts, but also to the support of other security agencies and intelligence and safety agencies that are cooperating with us. The rate I met on ground was not alarming because the Lagos State already has a structure that is second to none, thanking Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu for all he's been doing to ensure the safety in Lagos. So he said that he saw a loophole where anytime they needed a special investigation, they had to quickly pull forces together. So he said instead of just pulling forces together, these criminals may think that there's a loophole here. Why don't we create this forces, put them together? They are always ready. They are in Surulere because Surulere is the connection between the mainland and the island. Anytime you need them, they are there to show support and see how we can reduce crime in Lagos State.
Fantastic.
Well done.
Okay, let me take the story from the Vatican, because many Catholics are all waiting for the decision to be made. So according to the report, Vatican has set May 7th as a start date for Catholic cardinals to begin the conclave to elect Pope Francis' successor, delaying the secret voting to 2 days so that they can get to know each other in the conclave. According to the Vatican sources, the delay was also aimed to finding consensus on the candidate before they are sequestered in the Sistine Chapel. So, I mean, there was actually a journal. So there are a lot of issues going on because people are worried about who the new Pope is going to be and if he's going to continue the liberal views of Pope Francis. So according to the report, also many cardinals cited the desire to continue Francis' pastoral focus on people who are marginalized and against war. But conservatives may be more focused on forging and refocusing the church back to the core doctrines emphasized by St. John Paul II and Pope Benedict, rather than continue Francis' social justice focus and outreach. So there's that strain of, okay, should we have a Pope who's going to continue on Pope Francis' view on supporting the marginalized communities, or go back to the core focus of the church? And others are saying that even some of the cardinals, one of them was convicted, according to one of the journalists, saying that, are you sure this convicted Vatican member is going to be allowed to vote? So there are a lot of issues around that, but we'll see how that goes. From May 7th, we'll begin to see how the vote.
What was he convicted for? Did they tell us?
So it says that in a chaotic scene, the journalist shouted questions about the mood inside, whether there was unity. The reporter was saying, for an Italian television, asked whether an Italian cardinal who has been convicted by the Vatican Criminal Court on finance-related charges will be allowed to vote. So that's also another issue that is there. So
I'm even surprised to find out they have a court.
They
have to. It's big.
Good.
Vatican is huge.
So I took the indigenous people's leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, has added 4 senior advocates to his defense team. They're joining Chief Agabi, Chief Kanu Agabi, and Uche Naunjoku. The New Sons, Professor Onyechi Ikpeazu, Emeka Etiaba, Mela Audu Nunge, and Dr. Joseph and Dr. Joseph Akubo. They will be in court today as well as on the 2nd and 6th as Kanu's trial continues.
Okay. Let's move on to Daily Sun. We're going to go on a short break first. When we come back, we continue with our review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
Confidence is important.
You're listening. And this now Abigail. And I dare on top your view pigeon. I'm gonna bring you bass boost.
I don't get person will be single mother before. He carry another man show say now my husband be this.
This now what you want.
After that day, the man
you not go see him again.
If you snooze, you lose. If you miss this show, you miss out. On top this our show, I not dey gree for anybody.
When you dey find the husband, you not see sign say the guy small thing, you don't vex, don't give signs.
If they look for person we go give them to you, fact as he be.
Men no they ever get fault. If baby not there for her, na the woman.
Talk no dey be person you make person no fit talk true inside.
But for this country, we know say if we open court in the morning, waiting no good, no good.
Me and my sisters, hey, we go tanda gidigba for inside studio to give una all the latest information.
Look, we not even take responsibility for the children.
Please the man.
And that's some poria.
I'm Miriam Lunge. I'm a passionate environment advocate and a published author.
I am the founder of Celebration, a businesswoman, and a fashion icon.
I am a wealth coach and a real estate developer.
I am Amako Arakwe. I'm a corporate commercial lawyer and an entrepreneur.
Welcome to our hacker. I am Ramatu Shehu Oyibo, an entrepreneur and a business coach.
I am the voice of an average Muslim woman, an hijabite, and a lawyer.
I am a polymath and a serial entrepreneur.
I am Murayo Afolabi Brown, Managing Director, TVC Entertainment. I'm a media consultant, producer, and broadcaster.
The ladies of Your View are made of women from different professions, tribes, cultures, and religion. Join us every Monday to Friday as we share our views on topical and social issues.
Good morning, Marina Station and all the passengers. Efficient, it's comfortable.
This development will go a long way in reducing congestion and emission.
The trains are a long-term solution to Lagos traffic challenges.
This is where we take the final, decisions on policies, programs of government. I will have to ensure that, the narration of Lagos as a PLC is taken very, very seriously.
This is a major pedestrian bridge linking Oyingo here to Apapa Road over there.
With this overpass, we are providing what we call permanent solutions.
This place is one of the most dangerous areas at the biosecurity environment.
This can go into the news and every crimes of your neighborhood.
Our goal is to remain as Africa's model megacity, to move our GDP from the 5-6 position to the 3rd position, and we believe it's achievable with all the commitments we have.
Explore the city of Lagos, where dreams are made and possibilities are endless. I'm Adedoja Salam Adeniyi. I live in Lagos, inside Lagos.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
I'm Nifemi Oguntoye, news anchor with TVC News.
My day is usually busy and it's difficult keeping up with breaking news stories, trending stories, business news, stock exchange and what have you. But with TVC News on WhatsApp, I'm able to catch up with all the breaking news, real-time updates and trending stories on the go, right on my phone, no matter where I am. It's quick, easy and always.
We're going to Thanks for staying with us. We're going to continue with the Daily Sun.
So, I have the...
Let me read the headlines.
Okay.
It's just mass defection to APC looms. Going ahead with Kano's trial amounts to declaration of war against justice, says IPOB. Benue CP reads Riot Act as police confirms 4 dead in bar shooting. Reps caucus backs Enugu Airport concession. Sanwo-Olu blasts Obi over his poverty index rating of APC's government at the Johns Hopkins Varsity. And Naira redesign. Court strikes out 1 billion Naira suit against Buhari, Emefiele, and CBN. Okay, say CBN.
Yeah, before you read your headline, I just wanted to, in the other story, I forgot to say that Kanu apologized for his February 10th verbal attack on Justice Bintanyako, who recused herself from the case. He
apologized to her?
He
apologized to her.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have the Naira redesign story. So the court has struck out the 1 billion Naira suit against former President Buhari and former CBN Governor Emefiele and the CBN. So this Abuja division of the Federal High Court struck this case out against the parties I mentioned earlier over the hardship that followed the Naira redesign in 2023. This case was brought by, allow me to use the word, the repentant busybody, Usman Issa Tochukwu, on the grounds of lack of diligent prosecution. So what he did was that he filed this matter, left it in court. The parties in defense were coming to court, but he never showed up. And so the defense team brought it to the knowledge of the court that he has not ever been in court. And the court saw reasons why they should strike it out. But the court also left it open that whenever he is ready to show seriousness, he should be able to come back and refile the matter. Since 2023 that he filed this matter for 1 billion Naira, claiming 1 billion Naira damages against the defendant. He also demanded perpetual injunction against President Buhari to restrain them from withholding the old 200 Naira, the old 500 Naira, and the old 1,000 Naira. And he also demanded that he compel them to tender a public apology in 2 major newspapers. Yet, he did not come and prosecute the matter.
Well. Yes, so the Benue State Police Command has confirmed that 4 persons were killed in Sunday shooting at a bar in Makurdi in Benue State capital. They also said the new State Commissioner of Police, Enemari Ifeanyi, has warned that he will not tolerate any act of crime and criminality in the state under his watch. So the Sun correspondent gathered that no fewer than 10 persons were shot dead when gunmen suspected to be cultists attacked a popular bar on Akpehe Road, Makurdi, on Sunday evening. He said that they stormed the bar in a commando style at about 8 p.m. and opened fire on customers in the bar, leaving more than 10 people dead and several others injured. So the Benue State Police Relations Officer, PPRO, CSP Catherine Anene, confirmed the incident, saying that investigation was ongoing. He said the suspected cult attack at Akpehe is confirmed and investigation has commenced. 4 people have been confirmed dead, while others are currently receiving treatment at the hospital. And they are warning hoodlums that they will not welcome any form of crime in the state under the watch of the CP and also the Commissioner for the state.
So, Governor Sanwo-Olu was responding to Peter Obi when Peter Obi had visited Johns Hopkins, talking about Nigeria, where he spoke, he compared Nigerian poverty level with that of China and Vietnam. He said that the question then, he said that what exactly did these countries do to achieve growth? He said that's where political leadership comes in. These comparable nations, indeed, and other progressive nations, unlike Nigeria, have competent leadership and character, capacity and compassion, committed to prioritizing investment in critical areas of development, which includes education and healthcare. But Sanwo-Olu obviously responded, said that, first of all, he was going back to Peter Obi's history of what he did in Anambra, saying that when he got in there, the poverty index had increased, and was the successor of Obiano that was able to reduce poverty index in the state. And also, he didn't have the moral standing to be demarketing Nigeria. And specifically, he said that he also found that Mr. Obi's pattern of behavior disturbing because, according to him, when an elite, I'm trying to get a specific word, so I don't, somewhere he was saying how Nigerians, especially those of us, the Nigerian elites, when they travel abroad, must not demarket Nigeria. It's important, their duty. But we all also say, I also find Mr. Obi's pattern of behavior disturbing. When prominent Nigerians go overseas, they ought to project Nigerians positively. They do not have to do that in government or at home. But we all owe a duty to Nigeria on a global stage rather than demarket her. That is what true patriotism is all about. So that was his contention, really, that even though it's okay to criticize Nigeria at home, when you go on that level, on that world stage like Johns Hopkins, which is like one of the biggest universities in the world, you shouldn't be demarketing Nigeria. Any other story in the lesson? Moving on now to Vanguard. Defection to APC, we took that story already. Let's find another story. Unlawful trial of Nnamdi Kanu, an affront to rule of law and natural justice, says IPOB. Local airports without permits face sanctions from 2026, says NCAA. WAEC NECO will begin CBT exams by 2026, says federal government. Conclave starts May 7th. Cardinals say they named the new pope and they must tackle. They said a new pope must tackle abuse. Osinachi, why court sentenced husband to death, and PIA implementation comes under knock as experts pick holes in NNPCL's operations. Which story are we starting with?
Okay, so I have the local airports without permits will face sanctions from the NCA in 2026. So the NCA at the airstrip owners, operators, stakeholders engagement program in Lagos yesterday announced that out of the 92 airstrips across the country, only a few of them have full permit to operate. And they said starting from January 1st, 2026, they will start to face sanctions if they do not meet up to the required permit. So the NCA, that's the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, has notified the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria that all local airports under its management without this would also fall under the sanctions. So there are a total of 92 airstrips within the country. 68 of them are federal government airstrips. Managed by the Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Development. 24 belong to individuals and private organizations, and this brings for the need for them to regulate it. And I hope that it is done thoroughly. The Director of Aerodrome and Airspace Standards, DAS Engineer Godwin Balang, was the one who disclosed this after the program.
Okay, so the Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, has said the West African Examinations Council, that's WAEC, and the National Examinations Council, NECO, will start conducting their objective papers in 2025 examinations through computer-based tests, that's the CBT. He disclosed this after undertaking a tour of some CBT centers in Buhari, Abuja. Yesterday, also embarked on real-time monitoring of the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board's digital control room in the area. So he said by May-June 2026, both objective and essay components of WAEC and NECO examinations will be fully computer-based. He said, we are determined to eliminate examination malpractices by ensuring all exams, including practical and essay papers, migrate to CBT. If JAMB can successfully administer CBT exams for over 2.2 million candidates, then WAEC and NECO can also do the same. So he said that a committee led by JAMB registrar, that's Professor Ishak Oloyede, was currently auditing Nigeria's examination processes and their findings, which were expected by the end of next month. And he says this will guide future reforms across all levels of education, that he was happy with everything that's going on with the UTME examinations as well. So it's basically everything is going to be put into CBTs. Many schools, even private schools, are already preparing their students for CBTs so that everything is just computerized.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mike, you have Osinachi?
Yeah, the court sentenced Osinachi's husband, Peter Nwachukwu. He was prosecuted on a 23-count charge. The prosecution had 17 witnesses, 2 of whom were her children, and then he had 4 witnesses, including himself, but the court found him guilty on most of the charges. They imposed a 500,000 fine, a 200,000 fine on him with respect to 6 and 7. He was sentenced to 2 years on another charge. So they said that they accused the defendant of subjecting the deceased to emotional, verbal, and psychological abuse. They also testified that at one time the car was moving. He pushed out of the moving car. they said he prevented her mother and siblings from visiting her matrimonial home. He cruelly beat his children and then recorded their crying, playing it on his phone. The kids must have testified.
Of course,
to
the
that.
saddest.
Yes.
Oh my God.
And
those who are saying that
it threatened the kids and prevented them from reporting the acts of domestic violence against their mother to the head pastor of their church. You know, so there was so many.
So for the judge to actually have a death sentence, I mean, you can see why. Because sometimes you wonder why
but
the death sentence.
I'm a bit confused because in one of the papers I read, they said the autopsy didn't reveal
the cause of death.
Cause of her death.
Yeah, that she died from many injuries from beating. So I was now wondering, is it because of all this evidence that
it's possible?
I don't think a death sentence should be based on circumstantial evidence of this nature. It must be directly linked as the cause of death of the deceased.
So I'm sure if we read the
court judgment.
The judgment properly, maybe eventually.
That's why I'm just waiting to
let
read.
us read the court judgment, because I seriously doubt the judge will give a sense of
no, don't doubt it.
Just those
sometimes
there's no
I think the judge was female, and you know how we react to domestic violence.
We can connect, yeah. Okay, let's go on a very short break. When we come back, move on to our hot topic. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view.
And here you can join us by scanning the QR code or using the link on our X and Instagram. Why wait? Come to the side of news that keeps you ahead. TVC News, first with breaking news.
TVC Communications, Nigeria's leading independent broadcast company, has been officially designated as a great place to work. Over the past 3 years, we have transformed our workplace into one which is respectful, caring, rewarding, and provides great benefits to all our 500 employees. We thank our team for giving us the chance to show that partnership between employer and employee really works. TVC Communications, officially designated as a great place to work, and now the only broadcasting and media company, not just in Nigeria, but throughout continental Africa, to be fully certified. TVC Communications, a great Nigerian company, a great Nigerian place to work.
Do you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Welcome to Pure Entertainment. What would you like to order from our menu today? We have the regular.
So let me go and look for my jammies. So
My 20 was 320. I suppose don't be one medical.
At this point, I contest my jammies.
I want to close the show.
I can go. I can.
That's all we can take. Ejeki, close the show, you for that.
Ladies and gentlemen, number 1, Unavailable by Davido featuring Musa Keys.
We also have today's chef special.
Yo, shiny, yeah. Say recap done, and it's time for number 1 on the countdown. One of Nigeria's hottest artists right now, his name is Rema, and this one is called Charm. Kick it.
Another.
For dessert and a bit of nightcap, we have the nighttime and online specials.
I want to start the gym, yeah? But do you know one thing that's actually keeping me back?
You should start the gym to get fat.
Cricket.
She says she does pole dancing to empower women.
What's the difference? There's a difference.
Yeah, pole dancer does not strip.
You're already almost naked. You're already almost naked.
No, it's the empowerment for me.
Sex can make a relationship better.
No.
Sex can never be overrated.
It is needed.
Especially when it's good sex too.
Almost every guy has been with somebody's girlfriend.
But they are for all of us now.
That's why you're still single.
I would not agree or disagree with that because I don't want to get into trouble. I have a home to go to.
Your next question.
Oh, you ready to fail?
Who is the better? You see some spoils.
That woman.
Damn! Yeah,
Today we'll go here.
Hey.
Let's get talk now.
I'm sure we've been able to satisfy your cravings, yeah? Stay good. Entertainment for pure entertainment.
Now you can catch up with your favorite programs on TVC. Log on to www.youtube.com/TVC Entertainment. Join the fun.
Get ready to step into the heartbeat of your city like never before. Welcome to Events Diary, where every moment is a celebration. From the electric energy of Owambe extravaganza, to the richness of our culture, to the sophistication of corporate gatherings, Events Diary is your VIP pass to the hottest gatherings in Nigeria. And guess what? I'll be your guide, your style icon. Each week, join me as I transform from traditional chic to corporate sleek. Whether it's a birthday bash or a high-profile gala, you won't just see it, you'll feel like you're right there with me. Aww. From meetings to evening soirees, I'll be there. Or to the trendiest street festivals or to music concerts, Events Diary has something for everyone. So join me as we explore the vibrant tapestry.
Thanks for staying with us. So our hot topic today is about Osinachi's death. So Justice Nwosu Ihime of an FCT High Court Wuse 2 in Abuja on Monday sentenced the husband of the late gospel singer Osinachi, Peter Nwachukwu, to death by hanging. Nwachukwu was found guilty of culpable homicide resulting in the death of the deceased on April 8th. The judge held that the prosecution had proven the burden of proof placed on it by the law and subsequently found the defendant guilty. It will be recalled that we discussed this story back then with the judgment. We want to revisit it and even hear your thoughts on the judgment and hopefully discuss other things relating to this issue of domestic violence. You can call us on 020-1635-2013, 090-241-63440. You can also send us your thoughts on X and also on YouTube. We'll be happy to read your thoughts, read your views. So, according to the judgment, so Mr. Nwachukwu was found guilty of culpable homicide, with the court adjudging him to the cause of death of the deceased on April 8th, which is what we're talking about, if his actions actually led to her death on April 8th, 2022. Mr. Nwachukwu was arraigned and on 23 charges, as YK said earlier, including culpable homicide, punishable with death. Other charges include criminal intimidation, cruelty to children, criminal intimidation of children, and spousal battery. So, I mean, and just like YK also said, during the trial, the prosecution had given 17 witnesses, including the 2 children of the late gospel singer, who testified as 4th prosecution and 5th prosecution witnesses. Now, this is a really, really painful story, especially when you have your children testifying against you. And one of the reasons why it's important to have these conversations, because there are lots of Osinachis right now that are in their homes, and they are hoping that things will change, or they're thinking that you know, that's expected to stay. But let's talk first about the judgment, and then we'll talk about the other Osinachis who may be watching. What are your own thoughts on the judgment? Because I've seen comments saying it was a bit too harsh, you know, or they should have given him a life sentence instead of a death penalty. Although he still has the opportunity to appeal, you know, he might get a better judgment at the higher courts. But as of now, it's still death by hanging. Do you think that was a bit harsh, or do you think they should have given him life imprisonment because of his children? So at least his children can know that his daddy is there and they can go and visit him. At least, so if you take the mother is not dead, people are thinking, okay, you've taken both parents from the children. Like to
sadly, when domestic violence is involved, one of the likely consequences is that there will be no parents for the product of that marriage, which is why they advise leave, and people still think it's harsh to say so. One of the consequences is what we're dealing with now. One of the parties of the marriage is dead. One of the parties of the marriage is dead again because he's guilty of, you know, having murdered or led to the death of one of them. So in any of the circumstances, when two people are marrying, just so that we put it out there, if you're looking to marry someone today, be considering that if this were your circumstance, your children will be they will be orphans from the one it starts to happen. Because if you either don't leave to prevent it or curb it in one way or the other, this is the outcome. There's no way. If the father had gotten a life sentence, he go spend them for somewhere now. The kids would have to go through some form of therapy, help, psychological, whatever. Yes, to get through it, they will need foster care. They will be parented by distant relatives, close relative, whatever. But it will certainly not be him. He wasn't even fit a parent in the first place to love his partner, who was also a parent, or at least respect the partner. You don't have to love her, because some marriages are loveless, but at least there will be regard, respect for the sake of the children. They'll say, you don't talk to the mother of your children publicly like that. Some people say, she's my wife, I married her, but she's now the mother of your kids. The kids are watching. The lack of control of your emotions, your temper and all of that, or your total abashed nature of doing things, I no go agree, can actually lead to this and destroy the lives of the children. So a violent partner is a violent parent and an unfit one. That's
so let me come to you.
So for me, I don't think the judgment was harsh. I think this would serve as deterrence to a lot of abusers out there who will know that one day there will be a day of reckoning, and it can go anyway. You can end up being jailed for life. You can end up being, you know, sentenced to die by hanging. You can end up anyhow. So before you think of raising your hands to hit another person's child, think through the consequences. If this is found in how many years, if they give me the punishment that is, you know, supposed to come to me, would I one? Secondly, abusers have no mercy. I've seen abusers one-on-one, and I know that there's no form of empathy in their mind. And, you know, when we always say, let's stay because of the children, I worry, because at the end of the day, we end up, you know, raising children that are damaged, children who will now become adults and start healing their trauma, start doing therapy. Many of them will now toe either of the parents' paths. Either they are becoming abusers themselves, or they're attracting partners who will further abuse them, because that's what their subconscious is already used to. So we could have said, they've lost one parent, they should not lose another parent. They may have that parent there, but it's safer for them to be away from that parent. So at the end of the day, it's a lose-lose situation for everybody, especially the children. I'm more concerned about what the children are doing right now. What are they going through right now? What sort of emotional support do they have? I'm hoping that they have family members who understand some of these things, who would now take them to therapy, who will show them love, the love that they are not used to. Imagine being in an abusive home, and I don't know if anybody has really experienced it. You walk on eggshells. As a child, you have so much fear because your primary caregivers are at each other. Every 2 minutes, something triggers and people are throwing books, people are throwing cups, people are throwing, carrying knives. You see that firsthand, and it damages your psyche as a child. So if they can take you away from that situation, whether the parents sort out themselves or not, we should be focusing on the children at the moment, because the parents are adults. They have made their decisions. They have chosen to live by their decisions. Unfortunately, somebody had to die for people's eyes to be open. So I don't think the judgment is too harsh. It's small, so that people will know that if I choose to be an abuser, because the truth of the matter is, even abusers don't abuse everybody. They look face.
They
look face. So you come into a marriage and they look at you like your family cannot stand up for you. Then they capitalize on it. If they know that you have a strong backbone and once you raise your, they look face. I've seen abusers who have treated different wives differently, depending on where the wives are coming from. So if they know that Nigeria is getting to a point where they catch you, and let me also add this. Some people said the cause of death. Anything can cause a woman or a man in an abusive relationship to come down with diseases they are not naturally supposed to come down with. Because when your hormonal system is constantly trying to protect you, it stops healing itself. I had a conversation one time when I was doing my podcast with a woman who left an abusive marriage, and she said she had developed cancer somewhere here. Yes, it was deep. They had to go to the hospital. They were looking for causes. Do you know that they had to operate her several times? When she finally got the confidence to leave the marriage, that sickness subsided. Everything just left. Her body started reactivating back to normal. So we always feel it's physical. Everything should be physical. It's not physical. It goes way beyond the physical into the sort of sicknesses that you now begin to have as someone who is the abused in a marriage, and trace it with medicine immediately, that is this one that caused the death or this one did not cause the death. The fact that she was under a toxic relationship for how many years could have caused any sickness to start manifesting.
Yeah, Waiki, what are your thoughts on the sentence especially?
On the sentence, well, I'm not an advocate for the death sentence. So I would have genuinely preferred a life sentence. Let him rot in jail. Because first and foremost, death might be too easy. With life, that punishment, he will suffer it till he dies. Because he will be there. And he will have
time to think of
time to think of what he did and how he did it. And then also suffer in the jail.
Yeah.
That's
one way of looking at it, actually.
Yeah.
Then, he was obviously an evil man or had been abused himself in a previous life. I don't know. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not ready to delve into what was going on with him mentally. But I have to just say that women, please, if you are being abused, leave.
Okay, we'll come to that. We'll come to that conversation after the break. We'll talk on to stay or not to stay, to leave or not to leave. That's the conversation we're going to have after the break. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view.
Nigerian scene, one event at a time.
Brand new studio, brand new set, a new face, but still your favorite breakfast show, Wake Up Nigeria.
It's a fresh new energy, new vibe. You smell that?
Now that's the smell of tasty, tantalizing food from our various chefs.
And when it comes to sports updates with insightful analysis, the place you want to be is Wake Up Nigeria.
That's right. Every second there's a fresh occurrence, and every minute there's a story to tell. Keep abreast of happening locally and internationally via the news updates of Wake Up Nigeria.
It's light, camera, fashion, where we strut, slay, and sashay, and keep you updated with all the latest fashion trends.
Level up your morning.
Watch Wake Up Nigeria, where every morning begins with a spark.
my people. I greet you plenty.
My name na Chika Okeke.
My name na Uwi Balogun.
My name na Damilola Banire.
My name na Moyo Faraway Ahmed. If you also call me Moyo Listy. And this na Abigail. And I dare on top your view pigeon. I'm going to bring you bass, boost.
I don't get person will be single mother before. He carry another man show say now my husband be this.
Now what you want?
After that day, the man
you not go see him again. If you snooze, you lose. If you miss this show, you miss out. On top this our show, I not dey gree for anybody.
When you dey friend the husband, you not see sign say the guy smart, you don't vex, don't give signs. If they look for person, we go give them to you. Fact as it be. Men no they ever get fault. If baby not there for her, now the woman.
Talk no dey be person, you make person no fit talk true inside. But for this country, we know say if we open court in the morning, waiting no good, no good.
Me and my sisters, hey, we go tanda gidigba for inside studio to give una all the latest information.
Husband, we no even take responsibility for the children. Please the man.
And that's some poria.
I'm Miriam Lunge. I'm a passionate environment advocate and a published author.
I am the founder of Celebration, a businesswoman, and a fashion icon.
I am a wealth coach and a real estate developer.
I am Amako Arakwe. I'm a corporate commercial lawyer and an entrepreneur.
Welcome to Warhaka. I am Ramatu Shehu Oyibo, an entrepreneur and a business coach.
I am the voice of an average Muslim woman, an Hijabite, and a lawyer.
I am a polymath and a serial entrepreneur.
I am Murayo Afolabi Brown, Managing Director, TVC Entertainment. I'm a media consultant, producer, and broadcaster.
The ladies of Your View are made of women from different professions, tribes, cultures, and religion. Join us every Monday to Friday as we share our views on topical and social issues.
Good morning, Marina Station and all the passengers. Efficient, it's comfortable.
This development will go a long way in reducing congestion and emission.
The trains are a long-term solution to Lagos traffic challenges.
This is where we take the final, decisions on policies, programs of government that will have to ensure that, the narration of Lagos as a PLC is taken very, very seriously.
This is a major pedestrian bridge linking Oyinbo here to Apapa Road over there.
With this overpass, we are providing what we call permanent solutions.
This place is one of the most dangerous areas at the biosecurity environment.
This can go into the news and every crimes of your neighborhood.
Our goal is to remain as Africa's model megacity, to move our GDP from the 5-6 position to the 3rd position, and we believe is achievable with all the commitments we have.
Explore the city of Lagos.
Thanks for staying with us. We're discussing domestic violence, and this is something we've discussed so many times over the years, but this Osinachi's matter is bringing it back to the fore. And the conversation is the issue, I think it was Busy that raised it earlier, of how the behavior, where everybody's coming from. And when you talk about where people are coming from, abuse is such that many people are, as you've always said that many of us are damaged. We all grew up with some kind of verbal abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, and the thinking is that we survived. And now many people are marrying exactly what we know. But the truth is that in marrying what you know, your parents lived it, they survived, and you feel that okay, you can live it too. And that's why when YK says, if you're in that situation, leave. It's never always that easy to leave somebody who you feel slapped you, not because he wanted to slap you, but because you feel that there was something you did that provoked him, that caused you to slap you. And because of that is the reason. And so in your mind, you're thinking, okay, let me try not to provoke him. And you now realize that in the last 1 year that you have not provoked this person, he didn't slap you. So you feel that, okay, I've solved the problem. And you keep moving on. So I'm talking about the real conversation.
That's the real conversation. That's the most sensitive part of conversation. And our larger society has looked at it that way for years.
Yes.
What do? You say if they do well, speak well. But I am trying to raise my kids to understand that your reaction is your own control.
Responsibility.
That's your full responsibility. She made me do it, he made me do it. It's not an excuse that flies. Or the way she talks to me. What are you? Who are you as a person and how you react? Because when we grow, this thing you're saying is what all of us heard. We walk around our friends carefully. We speak around our family members carefully. There are uncles and aunties non-physical abuse is the worst. And our society, we've colorized it beautifully. So we raise our kids, to conform with shame. We shame them. And that's an example of non-physical abuse. But now your mates be that. I even said it to Mercy this morning. Not be your mate, they sing so. It's something that our society has beautified. We don't look at long-term effects of it. So imagine a home where not only did she suffer physical abuse, she must have suffered terrible non-physical abuse. Imagine pushing a human being, even your dog. If you open door, can you push your dog out of the car? I don't like cats, but I cannot push my son's cats out of the house. At least I would have really liked it. But they are there, So imagine it's on a human being that, you push them out of the house. You demean them, you talk down at them in speech. It takes a process. And people will tell you, someone was saying to me over the weekend, what do you mean I don't take care of my wife? I was like, this is your wife. Don't you think you're the one leading to this abuse? Because the abuse in question I was talking about was accepted by family. So the husband, I was confronting him that you are right beside, on top and underground of this abuse. He doesn't even consider it an abuse. His excuse was that I feed her, I house her, I clothe her, she's free to go and come when she likes. And so there's no abuse. And I'm looking at the person here. This is a functionally depressed person living with you. And from my own point of view, I can see how the person has been ostracized by family members. They speak to the wife through the husband's phone. And they've been married for almost 10 years. If she suffers a loss of family members of a pregnancy or a child, they will call her husband and say, is she there? They will speak to her. They don't approve. And they've taken it far with several other actions.
See, Nima, this thing you are saying, let me pause you. This thing you are saying, they'll tell you is Okowa.
It's a school.
It's a school. This is how you have to learn how to manage these things. You manage. So my point is that some people have managed it, and they have survived, and they have amazing children, and they have their results. Others are having trouble. So I'm just saying that let us look at it where there are different parts of it.
Let's break down what the survival is. So some people who really survive it, in the sense that they beat the system. They don't just cope with it. They confront it with their different styles. So a confrontation style can be that of Remi Tinubu, who chooses to be political and strategic, and another person can be Natasha, who chooses to face and shout. But did you destroy that abuse? Did you destroy that system? Did you break it and make sure that it protects from your next generation? It's not transgenerational. Did you do that? Because some people actually cope and transfer the abuse to their children.
Let me come to you.
That's just what I was going to say, because when we say, oh, they came out of it and it was fine, and she was fine, and or he was fine, because spousal abuse can be either way. Are the kids really fine? Do the kids really recover? What is the psychological effect on those children? It will manifest in different ways that you might not even realize that you have subjected your children to. So not only are you accepting physical abuse on your person, you are allowing it to manifest on your kids without even realizing what you are doing to those children.
Let me pause you here. Let me come to you. I'm not going to take you to this angle. The angle I want you to come in is, okay, you leave. the society says when you leave, your children are even more damaged. That's the thinking, that staying, you say the children are being damaged because you are transferring what your experiences are. But others will say, living, you're leaving them without a mother, you're leaving them without a father, you're leaving them without that close, that's 2 units, the nuclear family unit that they're used to. So either way, it's like you're going from prime pan to fire. That's how society has made us look.
Yes, because society was flawed in their thinking. So it is only when 2 people are together that they can have whole children. We have when 2 mad people are together, there's nothing whole about the children. Yes. So it's safer for one person to say, I can't stay in this madness. I need to be whole enough to be able to live for my children. And one person is sane to handle the children. The children will look back and appreciate that sacrifice in the future, because that has truncated how they are supposed to accept madness as normal. There are many children who grew up in mad homes who accepted it as normal. That's all they saw. After all, my mother stayed. You hear a man who would beat his wife, destroy things in the house and everything, and you complain, say, well, my mother stayed. Why are you women complaining today? Our parents stayed.
And we're successful.
What do you call success? Because many people I see in therapy today, when you ask them the question, they trace it back to their childhood. That's not being successful. Why do you think almost everybody in this part of the world is mad and angry? If you trace it back to their upbringing, you see why everybody is triggered. A little word triggers you. You are not reacting to what Mariah has said. You are reacting to what your stepmother said a few years back, but it seems as if Mariah is the one representing it. Right. We carry our trauma from generation to generation. And we're saying we can break that cycle for the sake of our children. It is not that flawed society's standard where if 2 of you are not together, you will not raise children. It's a lie. We've seen examples of people who were not together. We've seen examples of successful people, whole people, people who have empathy, who were raised by one parent or the other. What if your parents died in an accident? No, let's
can you raise those? Can you raise those? Can you raise it in that flawed? I mean, can you? I'm trying to find a way to ask this question.
Can you raise? Can you have good children
within that?
So let me tell you what happens to children, right? We have our different psyches and how we accept things. So you could have. I'm giving an example. This is a real example. I just don't want to mention names, but you can have children who come up from a family of abuse. Let's say there are 3 children right now. One somehow accepts that this is the way of life and becomes abusive. Another accepts that, okay, becomes abusive. Yeah, let's start it with becomes narcissistic, which will lead to abuse in future, right? The other one accepts that, no, there's a way I'm going to shield myself and shield everyone that comes around me, and becomes the people pleaser and the empath, right? There are 2 extremes of not goodness, because what you're supposed to be as a normal human being is to be in the middle. You have a bit of selfishness, you have a bit of selflessness. But when you're too selfless, is a problem. It's also a tool for manipulation, which we don't see. You are also trying to manipulate people by people pleasing because you want them to like you. It's a flaw. To the extreme, it's all about you. That's where the abuse now comes, whether it's physical abuse that you end up with and all that. Then we have one who is now so afraid of life, afraid to take a leap, always walking on eggshells around anybody who raises their voice. So we may see that one as normal because she knows how to comply in society, but she's damaged. She cannot be her authentic self. She cannot even pursue her dreams. So at the end of the day, they are young adults, everybody is working, everybody is married, everybody is managing, and we assume that they're successful. They're not okay. They're not all right. You will not even know that you have a problem till you go into therapy and now start asking questions. Why do things like this keep happening to me? See, they trace it back. So all this, they are successful, they manage to raise them and all of that. We are missing the point.
Let me go on a very short break. I like that sinking for a minute. We'll come back, we continue the conversation. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Dreams are made and possibilities are endless. I'm Adedoja Salam Adeniyi. I live in Lagos, inside Lagos.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move weigh in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
I'm Nifemi Oguntoye, news anchor with TVC News.
My day is usually busy and it's difficult keeping up with breaking news stories, trending stories, business news, stock exchange and what have you. But with TVC News on WhatsApp, I'm able to catch up with all the breaking news, real-time updates and trending stories on the go, right on my phone, no matter where I am. It's quick, easy and always on. And here you can join us by scanning the QR code or using the link on our X and Instagram. Why wait? Come to the side of news that keeps you ahead. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Do you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Welcome to Pure Entertainment. What would you like to order from our menu today? We have the regulars.
So let me go and look for my jam.
My 20 was 320. I suppose don't be one medical.
At this point, I contest my jam.
I want to close the show.
I can go. I can.
That's all we can take. Ejeki, close the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, number 1 unavailable by Davido featuring Musa Keys.
We also have today's chef special.
Yo, shine, 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 shiny, yeah. Say recap done, and it's time for number 1 on the countdown. One of Nigeria's hottest artists right now, his name is Rema, and this one is called Charm. Check it out.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing this issue of abuse, and we discussed the judgment. We're discussing why people stay, because the truth is that our cultural and religious backgrounds also influences why we stay. But I'm told we have a call. And before I go into that, Ayodeji from Abuja, thanks for calling. You're live.
I'm calling from Abuja.
Sorry. Yes, go ahead, please.
Okay. My contribution to this very important topic is straight and direct. My advice to any woman going through marital habits is to leave without any delay. I'm a perfect example of a broken home. I was 4 years when I was told my mom left an abusive marriage. In fact, I give her kudos that she was able to give birth to 4 of us under abusive home. So any woman passing through such challenge should please leave. I was telling the teenagers in the church on Sunday when I never even knew that this man will get what he has gotten, the punishment he has gotten, which he deserved. I was telling the teenagers that when you see any woman or any lady being maltreated, being beaten, being eaten by any man, please speak out. Be a voice for someone. Osinachi was not speaking out that time. In fact, people will tell her, please speak. She will say no because of public shame and all that. But I'm happy for the judgment that this man has gotten. So my advice to any woman is please leave any abusive thing. And every woman should be doing something so that you will not say because you're not doing anything, you cannot feed yourself, you want to remain under a man that is beating you.
Thank you very much, Ayodeji. Let me come to you guys. There's a mentality or there's a thinking that these men will change. And the truth is that a lot of advice is like, listen, yes, he's hard now, he slaps you today, he shouts at you, he does it, but don't worry, once he starts hitting 60, 65, those things will stop. They don't have that kind of energy for that kind of thing. So I'm telling you the real conversation. All this diagram.
60 years.
Because your husband might be 50. But in the next 5-10 years, all these things will die down because we won't have the energy to be shouting at you. So women think that, okay, let me just endure for 10 years and I'll have my peace when he's 65 from 70.
Like you're trying to prove a point. I understand this conversation is something I don't hear and tire. I heard it growing up. When settling disputes between couples, I heard it. We were advised about it when we married. There be a sheep, be a kiniko. We were told, as if we were marrying lions. We should be roaring up and down the house. Sheep, even in my own faith, they'll tell you that your ajana is how you cope with it. Rather than tell the person, no, you are not a functional person, you should improve yourself. They'll say, no, it's more about how you make him feel. And so society escorts you if you choose to leave with those conversations as you are going, the amount or nothing. The children you have left behind, they'll be useless, or things will happen, will not have albarika. We heard all of these things. Nobody is addressing that control. One person is refusing to be accountable in his conduct. I am a husband. I have just screamed at my wife in front of my kids, or my wife has just screamed at me in front of my kids, or one of us has just slapped the other. I will say, no, it's not me. She made me do it. I'm unaccountable. And the kids we are raising will either be that person or condone it. So sadly, most girls will now condone it when they move into marriage as the standard of a good wife material is how you condone it. In this case, remember that it's resource control this man was doing. This man is not the earner in the family. It's the woman that was the earner. In order to control, to intimidate, to ensure that all the resources they under my command is why he was more abusive. And so he made it something that everybody else permitted within family. Nobody fit talk anything. The damage of it on the kids is what we are discussing today. Okay, take your call and come back.
Bumi from Ibadan, thanks for calling. You're live.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning, Auntie Morayo, Auntie Waike, Nima, and DC. Good morning.
Good morning.
This is so sad, and just like Auntie Waike said, if you look at it, maybe as human being, we will say he should not be hanged. But the major thing is the children. I have someone that is very close to me that was also in that kind of situation. Has 3 children. All the 3 children that she had, there's none of them that when she was pregnant, the husband did not beat her. And it will land her in the hospital.
Oh, God.
Now, by the time it got to one stage, my husband had to say, let's just come out of this thing and let her leave. My dear sister, if she did not leave, maybe we will have lost her. And thank God that she left. And I'm really so happy. Thank God. All the children, they are all fine. The first one is chemical engineering. Thank God. But thank God she left. Now see what I'm trying to say. She would have died in any of those pregnant situations. But thank God that she left. Every pregnancy, all the 3 children, that their marriage normally should have been 30 years. This April that I'm talking to you, this very April. But thank God she left. So if we always feel bad to say, we should not allow people to be saying that you cannot manage things or you should manage you. Please, Our lives are very important.
Okay.
And
thank you very much.
Thank
because
you
of limited time, come to BC, let me come to you. Because I'd like you to respond to what he said, but also I'd like you to add.
No, more. I wanted to land on the point of success in the kids. So a child can be successful career-wise. In an abusive situation, you can have engineers, lawyers, successful, in fact, business CEOs, leaders. But that's part of their life, the emotional part of their life will never. So when we measure this success, are we?
What are the?
Is he a wholesome individual? Yeah. Can he grow to be a good father? Can he himself be a father? Some people will say they will not marry and will think that their sexuality is the question, whereas it's their emotional. That is the question. What they had experienced makes them feel that they are incapable of being.
I wanted to come to you, BC, concerning the fact that there was a comedian a few months back that was saying that he can never allow his child marry from a broken home. And it's when people hear this kinds of narratives, they want to stay. Because I'm not staying because I know it's healthy for me to leave, but so that my children can get married, so that a potential husband for my child will not say, I don't want to marry a child from a broken home. So that thing makes them stay.
Yeah, so it's still the flawed society, because somebody who is saying you cannot marry a child from a broken home can marry a child from an unbroken home that is damaged. There are lots of homes that are parents are together, but the children are damaged. The parents are still fighting from now till the next 60 years. And there was something that you were saying initially, that people want to say, okay, just manage now. Maybe when he gets to 60, you have not seen a 70-something-year-old damaged person. Because the truth of the matter is that we get worse as we get older. Especially if you are not used to being accountable for your action.
They become the mother and fathers-in-law.
Yes, the same people.
Damage people when they become the monsters-in-laws.
Yes, exactly.
They damage they are there. They never heal.
So we don't. Yes, you don't heal, and then you get worse, and that's why they tell you that what you cannot take at the beginning of a marriage, don't start it, because once you start it, you are going to take it to the rest of that marriage, except you choose to leave. People don't get better. They get worse. So you can tell from the beginning that, okay, can I cope with this? Can I not cope with this? And people are saying that it's not easy to leave. It's not easy to leave. It is easy to leave depending on how you have prioritized your life, how you have loved yourself. That is how you can decide to take yourself away from a toxic situation. Because let's look at it. We have a lot of people who are coming down with serious diseases, and this is scientifically proven. People should go and research it. Serious diseases because they are in constant abusive relationships, whether it's marriage, whether it's partnership, whatever it is. Their hormones are constantly fighting battles that they should not be fighting. And after how many years, you're coming down with several illnesses that you could have avoided if you had taken yourself out of that situation. We're not trying to break marriages. If you know that you can cope and you don't care about how your children want to turn out in the future, it's on you.
Let me take this call from calling from Ilorin. Thanks for calling. You're live.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, sir. Go ahead, please.
Thank you. I just want to make a small comment. I think we should go back to the foundation of the whole thing. You see, I think many times we look at dating or boyfriend and girlfriend, it is more of a feeling. But marriage is a commitment. Okay. It is not a feeling. You see, many times we transfer that into marriage. In marriage, whether you feel like or you don't feel like, there are boundaries that must be kept. And it is because people look at marriage as a feeling. I don't feel like today, I feel like tomorrow. That is what influences many reactions. I have been married for close to 30 years. I've disagreed with my wife many times, but it has never crossed my mind. Certain things has never crossed my mind. Because you are shocked. Whether on the side of the man or the woman, there has to be boundaries to be kept. If you recognize that this is a commitment, we are committed to work. You go to work, you are angry, but you don't fight your guard work. So there are certain things that must be kept. Marriage is a commitment.
So Mr. Kule, in being committed, Stephen, can you stay committed? Can you stay committed when it comes to violence, the issues of domestic violence and stuff like that?
If both the husband and the wife are committed, there will be no violence.
Okay. Exactly, I think that was the point.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kule.
So a commitment is to be.
No, I was just going to say sometimes, at the beginning of a relationship, you're not married, your husband will slap, your boyfriend, will slap you, and you say, oh, it's because he loves me. He's jealous. The other man looked at me. You don't know that it's starting from there. So when you start with the relationship and the man is slapping you from the beginning, just know that when you enter,
you go collect
that slap will turn to beating.
I mean, I have a call from the US, so I can go back to you. Gloria from Boston, thanks for calling. You're live.
Hi, good morning, Morayo. My name is Gloria. I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. This issue is really touching to me because I lived with an abusive husband for 20-something years. Wow. And I finally, in 2021, decided and I had the courage to leave. We as Nigerians who really don't take this thing serious, but it's very damaging. I have 3 children from the marriage, and all 3 of my children, to the outside people, they look very responsible and very normal. But all 3 of them were affected in different ways. My oldest son, who's my son, cannot seem to get his life together and has vowed never to get married because of what they saw their father do to me. My other daughter tried to cope by immersing herself in her work, in her school work. So people look at her and say, you're so intelligent, you're so driven. But that's her coping mechanism. And then my youngest one, that one has anxiety disorder as we speak. So I have to seek therapy for all 3 of them and for myself. So it is very deep because I experienced abuse, both physical and sexual, growing up. So when I got married, I thought I was escaping that, but I got into a deeper abuse by my husband. So please, women, do not stay, because when you stay, you're damaging the children, and it is not okay. It is never okay to face abuse, and that's my contribution.
Thank you very much, Gloria.
I'm having goosebumps.
I mean, I was going to ask her, but I didn't want to just engage her further because there are different levels of abuse. There's verbal, emotional, physical, sexual. I mean, she was sexual abuse. But when it's not physical, people think it's you can cope with it.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you see, she said before she got married, she was sexually abused. So she faced an abuse before she entered an abusive marriage, and she stayed because of. So it's always it's a vicious circle.
Yeah, it keeps coming back.
A vicious cycle. Yeah. So you just keeps coming. That's why it's not advisable. I would never.
But again, is leaving always the option? I mean, I would love to engage her. Yeah. Is leaving always the better option?
When you think of the lives that you have brought into the world, you are responsible. If you bring a child into the world, you are responsible to take care of that, for the care of that child till it reaches the age
of maturity.
When you cannot be responsible and you are subjecting the child to that kind of abuse, because it's abuse on the child as well.
Yeah, it is.
Even if the man or woman doesn't touch the child, it's still mental abuse.
Yes, because the child sees.
Yes.
The child absorbs.
We have to wrap up on this. I mean, let me let you have a final word.
Yeah, so I think that people need to be a little more selfless when it comes to their children. The narrative that we've been sold is that when you leave an abusive marriage or relationship, your children are going to suffer because then society will tag them, they came from broken homes. But you have to ask yourself, is it not better that my home is broken and their own will not be broken in future? So those are some of the things we have to put into cognizance when we are making decisions. So you have chosen to marry and bear children. It's not just about your life now. You should think beyond yourself and what you're benefiting in the society, but also how it's going to impact. And many people don't have this knowledge of how it impacts, because I've seen people who have had conversation with their parents and they're spotting some things to them why they are behaving the way they are, and the parents say, no, I did my best, though. No, I raised you. No, I tried. They don't even understand the conversation. So we need to open a table and begin to talk about the adverse effects some of these things have on the lives of the children.
We have to wrap up. Thank you so much. That's all we can take on this segment. When we come back, we want our next segment. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
For dessert and a bit of nightcap, we have the nighttime and online specials.
I want to start the gym, yeah? But do you know one thing that's actually keeping me back? You should start the gym to get fat. Cricket.
She says she does pole dancing to empower women.
What's the difference?
There's a difference.
That's what I'm saying. So pole dancer, you're already almost naked. You're already almost naked.
No, it's the empowerment for me.
Sex can make a relationship better.
No.
Sex can never be overrated.
It is needed.
Especially when it's good sex too.
Almost every guy has been with somebody's girlfriend.
But they are for all of us now.
That's why you're still single.
I would not agree or disagree with that because I don't want to get into trouble. I have a home to go to.
Your next question.
Oh, you ready to fail?
Who is the person that used to sus? What is his name?
That woman.
Bam! Bam!
Yeah,
Today we'll go here.
Hey!
Let's catch up now.
I'm sure we've been able to satisfy your cravings, yeah? Stay good. Entertainment for pure entertainment.
Now you can catch up with your favorite programs on TVC. Log on to www.youtube.com/TVC Entertainment. Join the fun.
Get ready to step into the heartbeat of your city like never before. Welcome to Events Diary, where every moment is a celebration. From the electric energy of Owambe extravaganza, to the richness of our culture, to the sophistication of corporate gatherings, Events Diary is your VIP pass to the hottest gatherings in Nigeria. And guess what? I'll be your guide, your style icon. Each week, join me as I transform from traditional chic to corporate sleek. Whether it's a birthday bash or a high-profile gala, you won't just see it. You'll feel like you're right there with me. Aww. From meetings to evening soirees, I'll be there. Or to the trendiest street festivals or to music concerts, Events Diary has something for everyone. So join me as we explore the vibrant tapestry of Nigerian scene, one event at a time.
Brand new studio, brand new set, a new face, but still your favorite breakfast show, Wake Up Nigeria.
It's a fresh new energy, new vibe. You smell that?
Now that's the smell of tasty, tantalizing food from our various chefs.
And when it comes to sports updates with insightful analysis, the place you want to be is Wake Up Nigeria.
That's right. Every second there's a fresh occurrence, and every minute there's a story to tell. Keep abreast of happening locally and internationally via the news updates of Wake Up Nigeria.
It's light camera fashion, where we strut, slay, and sashay, and keep you updated with all the latest fashion trends.
Level up your morning.
Watch Wake Up Nigeria, where every morning begins with a spark.
Hey, my people, I greet you plenty.
My name is Nachika Okeke.
My name na Uwi Balogun.
My name is Damilola Banire.
My name na Moyo Faraway Ahmed. If you also call me Moyo, listen.
And this na Abigail.
And I dare on top of your view pigeon.
I'm going to bring you bass, boost.
I don't get person will be single mother before. He carry another man show say now my husband be this. After that day, the man
you no go see him again. If you snooze, you lose. If you miss this show, you miss out. On top this our show, I not dey gree for anybody.
When you dey friend the husband, you not see sign say the guy small thing, don't vex, don't give signs.
If they look for person we go give them to you, fact as he be.
Men no dey ever get fault. If baby not dey for her, na the woman. Talk no dey be person no make person no fit talk true inside. But for this country, we know say if we open curtain in the morning, wetin no good, no good.
Me and my sisters, hey, we go tanda gidigba for inside studio to give una all the latest information.
Husband, we no even take responsibility for the children. Leave the man.
And that's some poria.
I'm Miriam Lunge. I'm a passionate environment advocate and a published author.
I am the founder of Celebration, a businesswoman, and a fashion icon.
I am a wealth coach and a real estate developer.
I am Amaka Rakwe. I'm a corporate commercial lawyer and an entrepreneur.
Barka mu da warhaka. I am Ramatu Shehu Oyibo, an entrepreneur and a business coach.
I am the voice of an average Muslim woman, an hijabite, and a lawyer.
I am a polymath and a serial entrepreneur.
I am Murayo Afolabi Brown, Managing Director, TVC Entertainment. I'm a media consultant, producer, and broadcaster.
The ladies of Your View are made of women from different professions, tribes, cultures, and religion. Join us every Monday to Friday as we share our views on topical and social issues.
Good morning, Marina Station and all the passengers. Efficient, it's comfortable.
This development will go a long way in reducing congestion and emission.
The trains are long-term solution to Lagos traffic challenges.
This is where we take the final, decisions on policies, programs of government. I will have to ensure that, the narration of Lagos as a PLC is taken very, very seriously.
This is a major pedestrian bridge linking.
Thanks for staying with us. So joining us on this segment from Delta State is Honorable Commissioner for Works, Rural Roads, Mr. Charles Anyagu. He will be elaborating on the recent defection of nearly the entire leadership of the People's Democratic Party in the state to the All Progressives Congress, APC. He'll discuss the implications of this mass defection on governance and politics in the oil-rich state. You can join the conversation on 020-1635-2013, 090-241-6344. You can also send us messages on X and also on YouTube. We'll be happy to read your messages. So welcome to the show, Honorable
Thank
Commissioner.
you very much, and I must appreciate all of you for the good job you've been doing over time.
Thank you.
Even moving from Ikusi to
yes,
the island.
Thank you. You like our new studio?
Looking beautiful.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So we know you've been going around trying to defend or talk about this, your defection, your party defection to APC, to various media houses. But one thing we say here is that if you've not spoken to Your View, you've not yet spoken to Nigerians.
Now,
you
want to have our view.
Nigerians. Yes. Now
on the subject matter.
So Nigerians want to hear you for the first time here. So the average Nigerian is watching and thinking, why are these parties so fluid? Why can't there be a strong opposition? Because that's what strengthens the democracy. In a way, you keep moving around, it weakens what we're trying to build. I mean, so for us, what you're doing, as much as might be good for you personally or individually, but also it's not good for the ideology of what democracy stands for. How do you respond to that?
Well, thank you very much, and I'm happy to be here this morning. And it's very much important that we put the issues the way they are, and then know what we're discussing. Okay. Well, what we're discussing here is the issue of a political party and its decision.
Yeah.
And then we must be able to understand why political parties are formed. It is for the purpose of contesting election, winning election, forming government, and being able to proceed to deliver on whatever manifesto or plans that you have for the people,
okay,
which has as its roots governance. I am happy nobody is contesting how well we are doing in Delta. And nobody is contesting the fact that before now, that the PDP holds quite sway in Delta. So we did not move from point of weakness. We moved from point of strength. And the question is, why are you moving when you have strength? It is because in the course of time, we have discovered that the vehicle we're in has developed some challenges. And over time, we tried to fix it. Initially, we thought it was a puncture tire. And we tried to engage the service of some vulcanizers to be able to mend it. But as we progressed, we discovered that it was more than a puncture tire, that it has affected its brain boss. And that those who are supposed to have helped us in dealing with the brain boss appears to be introducing some virus. And so when you look at what is happening at the national headquarters of our party, I use the word our party advisedly, because indeed at the time we did say that the PDP flows in our veins, that the blood in our system in Delta is that of the PDP. But we also come to realize that when you give birth to a child, it comes with a blood that God Almighty knows how that blood got into the system. But as that child continues to grow, there comes a time you carry out what they may call blood transfusion for the purpose of now letting that child to be able to survive possible ailments. And so, we took this decision in the best interest of our people because we do not want the Zamfara experience in 2019, and I'm sure all of you are very much around when what happened in Zamfara. When after they won an election, because of the challenge at the national headquarters, everybody was swept off. Nobody can doubt the fact today that there's a very serious challenge. We don't want to contest an election which we know we will win, and then somebody will now come and say, the secretary that signed your nomination is not the one that is supposed to sign it. Besides, Delta State today is the #1 oil producing state in Nigeria, and by that extension, given our near monocultural economy, means that Delta contributes more than any other state in this country to the federal purse. If that is the case, how much of the cake are we also bringing back from the federal purse? Good enough. The president, President Tinubu, even whilst we were in the PDP, has shown us some organic love. And we believe, in addition to the sickness that I had mentioned earlier at the national headquarters of our party, all these combined necessitated the diagnosis that were carried out, and then we're able to now write a prescription.
There are plenty of questions for you. Let me let you.
So the fear now is that our political parties do not have standalone ideologies, and we are constantly talking about how to further improve our democracy, where your ideology is for the good of the people, your ideology is for the good of the people, and even if we don't align, even if we are not in the same political party, we can also hold each other accountable. Now, when we see big wigs, a state like Delta, defecting...
You mean your state?
Yes, my state, proudly. Defecting, there's so much fear that the coming 2027, is this going to be an election or more like a selection? Because it seems like everybody's going into the APC and we no longer have strong opposition to hold the government accountable.
Thank you very much, my sister. What happened in Delta is a movement. Don't call it defection. Defection is for smaller people when A moves and B moves. What happened in Delta was a movement. Okay. And also to correct you, it was not say nearly. You know, you said nearly the leaders. It's not nearly. Everybody moved. Okay. We took everything. We took even the mats. So it's not a question of maybe when you go, you will see the foam somewhere. So
this movement.
Before I proceed there, you know, there was something she said. When you are building a house, first of all, you go and excavate for the purpose of, after you have cleared, you excavate for the purpose of laying your foundation. You now do what they call blinding, where you are going to place the blocks. And then even the block, you don't put all of them at once. You have what we call building blocks. The first layer, the second layer, you allow it to dry. Sometimes even when you move in this direction, you discover that the block is not well laid. You break it down for the purpose of, at the end of the day, getting an alignment. Ideologies are not built at once. Ideology is a continuous character that is being exhibited over time. There are individuals who have expressed the fear that Nigeria may be heading towards a one-party state. That's not going to happen. Okay. For so many reasons, it will not happen. Even if today we find ourselves in the APC, there are individuals who may, in the course of time, believe that there are certain other beliefs or philosophy that drives their entrance or their own activities in the political terrain. You recall sometime in 2006, the Obasanjo administration, working with Soludo as the then governor of the CBN, came up with the banking consolidation, where they said you needed to have as much as 25 billion naira for you to be able to exist as a bank. In the first instance, we had 25 banks. It came down to 23. Today, it has gone beyond 25. Because as we begin to grow, individuals will begin to find their different levels. And then you begin to now discover more and more like minds. Ideology is not what you form in one day. In any case, in the case of Delta, our brothers and sisters that were meeting in the APC, go and check all of them, they were once in the PDP. So for us, it is not only realignment of forces, but it's also a question of family reunion.
Okay. Gami, I believe that.
Mikey was coming. Okay,
you said that it's a movement. Grasshoppers move. So you are calling yourselves grasshoppers?
Is it only grasshoppers that move?
Cockroaches move.
Human beings move. But movement, not as in walking. Movement as an idea.
Where do you put loyalty?
To
you don't believe in loyalty.
Loyalty to
party.
To the party.
We believe in.
We've talked to you. We talked to you when you were in.
PDP.
You are commissioner of information. You have been entrenched in the PDP and in the Delta State for years, since I've been doing this show, and I've been doing this show for 12 years. Today, you have come proudly to say, oh, I've moved to, I've hopped to another party, and I've moved, and it's a movement. It's
okay.
Look,
I think it's
how are your people who are normal PDP? I was watching a video today of someone who says you have disappointed us in Delta State. A man was saying it. I was watching it because I knew you were coming. I went to go and look for videos of Delta people who are, whether they are happy or sad.
Thank you very much. First of all, I must appreciate all of you for the interest you have shown in our political family in Delta. The political family in Delta remain intact. That's why when we were moving, we also moved in one accord. Now, let us look at what the issue is. I gave you an analogy earlier. That if, as I was coming to Lagos, and I discovered that the vehicle I am in, very lovely vehicle, possibly Range Rover Sports or Autobiography, and by the time I get to Edo State, I discovered that I am having a puncture tire, and I employ the service of a vulcanizer to help me mend the tires, and that is carried out, and I proceed. As I get to Ofosu, I still have another challenge, and I am able to mend it, and I proceed, heading towards Ore. I discovered a different thing. Now, only for me to want to move to Ore, my destination is Lagos. You must have that at the back of your mind. I have a destination, which is Lagos. And by the time I get to Ore, thinking that I can proceed to Ijebu-Ode, and I discovered that the brain boss, which is the main central, just like the nervous system, the central nervous, has packed up. Not only that it has packed up.
20 years to find out.
No, not only that it has packed up.
That's a virus.
Now, I needed to also get those, possibly a mechanic or any other person that can help me carry out the diagnosis for me to now get a prescription.
It has taken you 20 years to find out that this vehicle.
No, it didn't. No. That vehicle has been moving very smoothly. Even in Delta, that vehicle moved very, very smoothly.
Suddenly,
it moved very, very smoothly. You cannot say you are not. I have given you the Zamfara example. You cannot be blind to what is happening. We said if you contest the election, as at day before yesterday, PDP will win. Our political family will win. We are holding sway in Delta. Everybody knows. So we didn't move from point of weakness. But that the people who are introducing the virus in the brain box, we make it such a way that our destination, which is Lagos, will not be realized. And then speaking about our destination, the governor came with a promise to make a difference. And nobody is contesting that difference in the last 2 years. I can speak to them, local government by local government. We have 25 local government areas, and I have as much as 270 wards. We can speak to them. Now, how do we move beyond the next election to continue to sustain these different developmental trajectory? When we are seeing that the vehicle that is carrying us and the mechanics that are supposed to fix it are busy introducing some virus. Do we just sit down and watch and allow us to come and contest the election, which we know we will win? And then after we will win, a diagnosis will be carried out by the judiciary, and then there will be a different prescription. Will it be fair to our people, our mass supporters? We will also be fair to those of us who have a responsibility to make a difference. Let me tell you, I will tell you anytime, any day, the PDP performed very well in Delta because we are the political family. So we did not move just like others who maybe because they lose the election, they now begin to look for another place. Okay. We are the one holding sway in Delta.
Let me pause
we were not moving because we became weak.
Let me pause you for a second. I have to go on a very short break. When we come back, we continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view.
Apapa Road, over there.
With this overpass, we are providing what we call a permanent solution.
This place is one of the most dangerous areas at the biosecurity environment.
This can go into the news and every crimes of your neighborhood.
Our goal is to remain as Africa's model megacity, to move our GDP from the 5-6 position to the 3rd position, and we believe it's achievable with all the commitments we have.
Explore the city of Lagos, where dreams are made and possibilities are endless. Amadedoja Salamadini. I live in Lagos, inside Lagos.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty, erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
I'm Nifemi Oguntoye, news anchor with TVC News.
My day is usually busy and it's difficult keeping up with breaking news stories, trending stories, business news, stock exchange and what have you. But with TVC News on WhatsApp, I'm able to catch up with all the breaking news, real-time updates and trending stories on the go, right on my phone, no matter where I am. It's quick, easy and always on. And here you can join us by scanning the QR code or using the link on our X and Instagram. Why wait? Come to the side of news that keeps you ahead. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Thanks for staying with us. We still have with us Honorable Commissioner for Works, Mr. Charles Aniago. Nima had a question.
I just like this example of carburetor, brain box, everything that you are talking, because I'm wondering that now that you are going somewhere, if you are coming back from somewhere, what will happen? So, I believe that this movement was not without any reason. There must have been something strategically wrong with the PDP structure that we are not hearing. In Rivers State PDP structure problem, in Edo State PDP structure problem. What could have been the brain box problem with the PDP as a party platform in a Delta State that informed this mass movement?
Okay, if you are listening to me earlier, it was what I told that in Delta we're very, very firm. There's no single mosquito in our net in Delta.
Who can
the PDP family? The PDP family. No, let me tell you why. It's like a student who is so good in a classroom. It's in a department. He knows how to write. The teachers are very good. But that department does not have accreditation. So even if it's medicine that you are studying, and you are even an A1 and what's it called, a first class student of medicine, when you get to the final level where you are supposed to take your result, say no, the NUC or the medical whatever did not accredit that particular department.
So it's null and void.
Your result is what? Your result is equal to 0. That does not take away the fact that that student is good. The teachers are very wonderful. That institution may be very beautiful. But there is a comma with the issue of accreditation. And that accreditation now is a national headquarters for you to become a candidate of any political party. In this case, our own instance. The national headquarters is the one that signs that you are even the candidate of the party. When they say the party, the word the party, if you go to court as a justiciable entity, is the national working committee of that party. That is why when they talk about a party being polarized or being factionalized, it means a split. Supreme Court is very clear on that particular issue. It means a split at the national headquarters. If today in Delta the PDP chairman, the PDP secretary decides to go different ways, that does not mean the party is factionalized.
True.
Because the party is what happened at the national headquarters. If that national headquarters that gives you the date as to when you are going to do your primaries, they set a form as to those who are to contest. They sign, the second national secretary will sign as to who are the candidates of the party. My sister, if I ask you today, who is the national secretary of the PDP? So what it means that we don't want to remain in an institution that looks very beautiful. But by the time we are about to graduate, we discover that our course wasn't accredited.
So why didn't you fix it internally?
I know that why move
instead of fixing the problem?
No, it's not to say even the issue of acting national chairman. Go and look at the rules. When you have issue of acting, you people have been telling us more. Even me, even if I'm in the PDP, you have told us more. As persons who were in the PDP, you have covered these stories as to what is happening.
I need to.
We thought that you had an internal mechanism to remedy
that internal mechanism.
anything.
No, that internal mechanism. I've told you the challenge is that even internal mechanism. I said the mechanics who were supposed to fix the brain box may have been very busy introducing additional virus.
So the Sarakis, the Jonathans, the Bode George, all of them are part of the people that introduced the virus that we're talking about.
No, those ones you are mentioning that they are not even part of the National Working Committee.
No, they are
when you talk
the founders.
I asked you a question today.
Yes.
When I talk about the issue of accreditation as to who will sign that nomination form. You are journalist. You are not only having your view here, you are even also having part of our own view in your view. And that your view, that includes our own view, who is the National Secretary of the Green Party, the PDP? Tell me so that I'm educated.
We know that.
No, you are shaking your hand like this now.
The court has given us one.
Who?
What's his name? The one that the court agreed for. Then the other one is fighting.
You have to. God bless you. God bless you. Your intelligence is at play now. You have been able to say the other one. What that means is that you are not exact. And so, if that other one now
that one is not recognized by the courts. The other one, they even drove him out of the.
On whose side are you? Let me understand.
Did you listen to the governors in Ibadan? Did you listen to the governors in Ibadan?
Two party members are fighting for the seat of the secretary of the party.
Yes.
The party as a body is made up of more than those two people.
Exactly.
Yes.
On which side are you people? Which is the real truth?
No. There is a position they are holding. I have mentioned organs of the party that takes decision. It's like this place where you are. You have management. You could have head of admin. Then you could have a general manager in other places. It's not a question of whose side you are in. Each person has the role that they perform.
So the two of them will go just scatter party.
No, not only the two of them.
Last question, maybe.
Have few seconds.
What is the position of the existing party leaders for the APC in Delta State before this defection? Because as governor come now, he will be party leader.
Not as he comes. I'm sure you followed through yesterday because you carried that particular movement live yesterday.
News,
like I said, it's a mass movement. The word defection is for people who are moving from here to here. So now let's. No, she has a question.
I want to hear this lead. I want to hear because.
No, first of all, in our consultation and in our movement, we talked about realignment of forces. Realignment means that if this one is moving in this direction before, when you realign, you to come to this direction, everybody moves in one direction.
Okay.
We are going to be moving in one direction, which is aimed at sustaining the developmental trajectory
so is the
of the Oborevwori. It's not a contestable item.
So it's the governor.
The governor is the leader of the APC.
Okay, so can the National Working Committee of the APC trust? I'll call him like a newbie in the APC.
Did you see them yesterday?
It's not the politicians. That's what they do. These are
the governor contested against the former leader of the APC in Delta State for this governorship. How is he handling it?
Were you too sure about who was the leader of the APC as at the time?
It was former president.
You need to go and look at the rules of these different political parties in terms of who is holding the highest political office in that particular.
Could it be that it's because Delta State has more of the resources?
No.
That is why he was welcomed with open arms.
No. See, even as you are talking, let's assume you have a church, and even without you going to preach to the people, and converts come to your church, are you not supposed to celebrate that you are having more converts in your church? So if a state like Delta, number one state in terms of the resources of this country, finds its way in your fold, we are not only number one, we have, you say what?
Not Rivers State.
No,
Delta.
Delta, we are number one. And we are not number one by accident.
There's still a problem. There's still a question in my head. Sorry, I know why. We have very few minutes, and I just have one question.
Quickly ask your question. We have been trying to ask.
The question I wanted to ask you. I know you said that Delta is a strong base. Now you have a strong base. You could have gone to ABGA. You have gone to SDP. You could have gone to other parties. Why APC? Because you are strong enough. In Delta, your base is strong and firm enough to have taken down another party. Why APC?
Did you hear what I said before, that the president have shown us some organic love?
Organic love.
Yeah, so if, for instance, even while we're in the PDP, the man is not denying us of what we're entitled to. Do you progress to that? Why do you just move from a big wig to a smaller wig? these political parties you have mentioned, how many states are they controlling?
Scavengers are buying wigs now.
Our link to where we are dropping our funds. I said we are the #1 contributor to the national purse.
Okay, let me.
So we should also be able to have a large pie.
I just wanted to let you know that scavengers are buying wigs, so be careful.
Mikey, we have seconds left.
I just want to.
How does
the state assembly people? They are supposed to lose their seats now, as they have left the party that elected them. PDP can take them to court now, and they will win.
I hope you have read the part of the constitution that talks about people losing seats. There's what we call condition precedent. First of all, it is the place of the speaker to declare that his seat is vacant.
Yeah.
So, as you begin to provide these legal services, you must be sure that you are well equipped with the provisions of the law on this subject matter.
We have a guest.
But that's a subject for another day.
Yeah, for weighing on myself. No, but we have to go.
Don't worry. That's a guest. Come back tomorrow.
We have to come back tomorrow. That's all we can take.
We haven't finished.
We have to be honest, people. I'm so time has gone. Time has gone. We have to wrap up. Thank you very much. For coming.
I'm so happy to be blessed amongst the
beautiful. See you tomorrow.
Beautiful viewers.
Bye for now.
Delta came out.